Jai Hind, dear children. Last class we studied about geography chapter manufacturing industries. In this chapter we already completed the first section which included topics like manufacturing, importance of manufacturing industries, classification of industries, then about agro-based industries and its various divisions that we studied in detail, like the cotton textile industry, jute industry, sugar industry. And we also studied the various types of mineral-based industries like iron and steel industry and aluminum smelting. So today also we are continuing the same type of industry, which is that mineral based industry and various new types of industries related to this division. That means apart from the iron and steel and aluminum smelting industry, the various other types of industries included in the mineral based industry that we are going to study in detail in today's video. So first of all, we are going to study about chemical industry. Another section of mineral based industry is chemical industry. This chemical industry consists of both large scale and small scale industries. It is the fast growing industry in our country and it also adopts various forms of diversification. So, chemical industry, it is a fast growing industry in India and it adopts various forms of diversification. The contribution of chemical industry to GDP, that is gross domestic product, is only 3%. So, the contribution of GDP of chemical industry is only 3% and on the basis of its size. The chemical industry is considered as the third largest industry in Asia and it occupies 12th place in the world. So once again, the contribution of chemical industry to GDP is only 3% and it on the basis of its size it is considered as the third largest industry in Asia and it occupies 12th place in the world. The chemical industry in India consists of both organic chemical industry and inorganic chemical industry. So now we are going to study in detail about the organic chemical industry and the inorganic chemical industry in India and its various features also. Now we are going to study in detail about the organic chemical industry and its various features and what are the main chemicals included in this organic chemical industry and its various manufacturing qualities also. The first feature of this organic chemical industry is that it has a very diversified end production pattern. That means we can see varieties in the production of this organic chemical industry. So once again, organic chemical industry has a very diversified end production pattern. The second feature of this organic chemical industry is that its basic materials, raw materials, are mainly derived from ethyl alcohol, coal carbonization and petroleum. So once again, the basic raw materials of this organic chemical industry are mainly derived from ethyl alcohol, coal carbonization and petroleum. Another point is that organic chemical industry are the basis of various other industries like plastic industry, dye industry, drug industry, detergents and insecticides industries also. So once again, organic chemical industry are the basis of various other industries like plastics, dye, drug, detergents and insecticides. Another point is that organic chemical industries are always located near to oil refineries or petrochemical plants. So once again, organic chemical industries are always located near to oil refineries or petrochemical plants. Organic chemicals include petrochemicals, which is used for manufacturing synthetic rubber, synthetic fibre, plastics, drugs and pharmaceuticals. So once again, organic chemicals include petrochemicals. It is used for manufacturing synthetic rubber, synthetic fibers, plastics, drugs and pharmaceuticals. Next, we are going to study in detail about inorganic chemical industry and its main features. The first main feature of inorganic chemical industry is that inorganic chemicals include sulfuric acid, which is used for manufacturing of fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, paints and dyestuffs. So once again, heavy inorganic chemicals like sulfuric acid is used for manufacturing of fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, paints and dyestuffs. Another importance of inorganic chemical industry is that other inorganic chemicals like nitric acid, alkalis, soda ash is used in the manufacturing of glass, paper, soap and detergents. So once again, other heavy inorganic chemicals like nitric acid, then alkalis, soda ash is used in the manufacturing of glass, paper, soap and detergents. The production of inorganic chemicals, mainly pesticides, that means the chemicals used for the production of pesticide, has contributed much to agriculture by controlling harmful insects and weeds. So once again, the production of pesticides, which is comes under the inorganic chemical industry, has contributed a lot to the development of agriculture by controlling harmful insects and weeds. Inorganic chemical industry is widely spread all over the country. So compared to organic chemical industries, this inorganic chemical industries are widely spread all over the country. So rapid growth has been recorded in both organic and inorganic industries in India with the help of their features and various good characteristics also. So we already studied about the divisions of chemical industries as organic and inorganic chemical industries. So now we are going to study another important fact related to chemical industry, which is that chemical industry is considered as its own largest consumer. So once again, the chemical industry is considered as its own largest consumer. How? That we are going to study next. The chemical industry is considered as its own largest consumer because basic chemicals undergo processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for industrial application. So once again, the basic chemicals that undergo various processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for industrial application and agriculture or direct use for consumer markets. For example, sulfuric acid is used to manufacture synthetic fibers, plastics and at the same time petrochemicals are used for producing synthetic fibers, synthetic rubbers. Because of all these, chemical industry is considered as its own largest consumer. So once again, what are the reasons? The basic chemicals that is produced in the chemical industry undergo various processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for industrial application or for agriculture purpose or for direct consumer use. For example, they are giving two examples. One is sulfuric acid and another one is petrochemicals. Sulfuric acid is used to manufacture synthetic fibers, plastics and at the same time this petrochemicals. It is used for producing synthetic fibers, synthetic rubbers. Because of all these, the chemical industry is considered as its own largest consumer. So we already studied about the chemical industry and the basic features and various characteristics of the chemical industry. Now we are going to study another two types of industries, that is fertilizer industry and cement industry. Next we are going to study in detail about the fertilizer industry. It is the agriculture sector that always provide market to fertilizer industry. The primary objective of this fertilizer industry is to ensure the inflow of both primary and secondary elements required for crop production in the desirable quantities. So, the primary objective of the fertilizer industry is to ensure the inflow of both primary and secondary elements required for crop production in the desirable quantities. The fertilizer industry is very important in India, as agriculture is a very important sector, and it goes without saying that the fertilizer industry is one which the Indian economy cannot do without. It played a vital role as it manufactures some of the most important raw materials required for crop production. So now we have just studied about the importance of this fertilizer industry. It is because of this agriculture sector development, the fertilizer industry gained a lot of importance in our country. The primary objective also of this industry is to ensure the inflow of both primary and secondary elements required for crop production in desirable quantities. The fertilizer industry is also very important in India, as agriculture is a very important sector in our country, and it goes without saying that the fertilizer industry is one which the Indian economy cannot do without. It played a vital role as it manufactures some of the most important raw materials required for crop production. The fertilizer industry is centered around the production of nitrogenous fertilizers, mainly urea, phosphatic fertilizers, ammonium phosphate, DAP, then complex fertilizers, which is a combination of nitrogen, phosphate and potash. So once again, the fertilizer industry is centered around the production of nitrogenous fertilizers, mainly urea, phosphatic fertilizers, ammonium phosphate, DAP, complex fertilizers, which is a combination of nitrogen, phosphate and potash. But in India, we are importing potash as we are facing deficiency of this potash in our country. We are importing potash mainly from foreign countries like Peru, Chile and Bolivia. So as a deficiency of potash is there in our country, we are importing potash from foreign countries like Peru, Chile and Bolivia. And India is the third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizer. So what is India's place in the production of nitrogenous fertilizer? India is the third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizer. Fertilizer industry has increased in India after Green Revolution to increase food grain production. In India, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Kerala and Tamil Nadu contribute around half of the fertilizer production. Other important fertilizer producing industries in India are located in states like Odisha, Rajasthan, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, Goa, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. So once again, the fertilizer industry have increased in India after Green Revolution to increase food grain production. In India, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Kerala and Tamil Nadu contribute around half of the fertilizer production. Other important fertilizer industries in India are located in states like Odisha, Rajasthan, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, Goa, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Maharashtra. In India, we are having around 57 nitrogenous and complex nitrogenous fertilizer producing units, 29 fertilizer units for urea, 9 for producing ammonium sulfate, 68 for producing single super phosphate. Out of all these, 10 units were under public sector and 1 in cooperative sector, mainly in Hazria in Gujarat, under the control of the Fertilizer Corporation of India. So in India, we are having around 57 nitrogenous and complex nitrogenous fertilizer units, 29 fertilizer units for urea, 9 for producing ammonium sulfate, 68 for producing single super phosphate, Out of these, 10 units were under public sector and 1 in cooperative sector in Hazria in Gujarat under the control of the Fertilizer Corporation of India. Another industry we want to study in this area is the cement industry. Cement industry is the second most important primary and basic industry for the economic development of India after iron and steel industry. Cement is essential for construction activities like bridges, roads, buildings, factories, houses, dams, and also for commercial establishments. So once again, another industry we are going to study is cement industry, and the cement industry is the second most important primary and basic industry for the economic development of India after iron and steel industry. Cement is essential for construction activities, for constructing bridges, roads, buildings, factories, houses and dams, and also for commercial establishments. The raw material used in the cement industry is heavy and bulky, and the main raw materials are limestone, silica, alumina and gypsum. Apart from all these, coal and electric power are needed. Cement industry is doing well in terms of production as well as export. This industry is mainly located in Gujarat because of accessibility of coastal areas and port facilities. So once again, the raw material used in the cement industry is heavy and bulky, and the main raw materials are limestone, silica, alumina and gypsum. Apart from all these, coal and electric power are needed in this industry. The cement industry is doing well in terms of production as well as export. This industry is mainly located in Gujarat because of accessibility of coastal areas and port facilities. In order to be economically viable, the cement units must be set up near to the limestone deposit areas, steel plants and power plants, as these raw materials are heavy and bulky. So as to reduce the cost of transportation, they must be set up near these areas. So once again, in order to be economically viable, the cement units must be set up near to the limestone deposit areas or power plants or steel plants, as these raw materials are heavy and bulky. So if they are set up in these areas, it should help to reduce the cost of transportation. The cement industry is doing well in terms of production and exports. Only due to the improvement in the quality and production, we are having huge demands from foreign countries, mainly from East Asia, Middle East, Africa and South Asian countries. So our government taking a lot of efforts to generate adequate domestic demand and supply in order to sustain this industry. So once again, our cement industry is doing well in terms of production and export, and we are having demand from many foreign countries, from many parts of our world, from East Asia, Middle East, Africa and South Asian countries. At the same time, our Indian government is taking a lot of efforts to generate adequate domestic demand and supply in order to sustain this industry. The first cement plant was set up in Chennai in 1904. In the beginning, the growth of this industry is not so much highlighting. So our Indian government adopt many steps to have a rapid growth and development in this industry. The main policies adopted by the government were decontrol of price and distribution. That means government took over control of these industries and started privatization in this area. And it also helped to increase the capacity of these industries. The second one is the rapid strides. Strides means progress in capacity, process, technology and production in this industry. So the first cement mill was set up in Chennai in 1904. And in the beginning, we are not having that much of development. So our Indian government adopt various steps to have a fast development in our cement industry. The various steps adopted by our Indian government, the most important among them were the decontrol of price and distribution. That means government took over control of these industries and started privatization in this area. and it also helped to increase the capacity of these industries. And the next is the rapid strides, that means a fast progress in capacity, process, technology and production of cement industry. Another industry which is also a part of mineral based industry is the automobile industry. The basic concept of this industry is that it provides a base for transportation of goods and passengers. At the same time, the automobile industry depends on iron and steel industry for their raw materials. So another industry that we are going to study is automobile industry, and the basic concept of this industry is that it provides a base for transportation of goods and passengers. Growth in this industry is mainly based on liberalization process. That means starting of foreign investment in our country. As the foreign countries began to invest, it leads to an increase competition. As a result, it mainly flashes in the growth of industry in terms of quantity and quality. So the liberalization process is mainly important for the development of this automobile industry. The automobile industry experienced a fast quantum jump in the past 15 years, and foreign direct investment brought in new technology and aligned the industry with global development. So it is the foreign direct investment that brought in new technologies and aligned the industry with global development. Mark a rapid growth in this industry. So this foreign investment and the liberalization process, everything brought about a rapid growth in the automobile industry. For example, if a German company collaborated with our Indian automobile industry, that brought in new technologies through liberalization process, and as a result, new technologies reached to our own country also. So with the help of liberalization process, globalization, privatization, everything, with the help of the foreign investment also, they brought about a rapid change and development in our automobile industry in India. At present, there are 15 manufacturing units for passenger cars and multi-utility vehicles, 9 units for commercial vehicles, 14 units for two-wheelers and three-wheelers in India. So, our India is well developed in the automobile industry with the help of these manufacturing units. For example, we are having 15 manufacturing units for passenger cars and multi-utility vehicles, 9 units for commercial vehicles, and 14 units for two-wheelers and three-wheelers. And in our country, the automobile industry are mainly located in Delhi, then Gurgaon, it is in Haryana, then Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore is in Madhya Pradesh, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur, it is in Jharkhand, and Bengaluru. So, most of our automobile industries are located in areas like Delhi, Gurgaon in Haryana, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore in Madhya Pradesh, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur in Jharkhand and Bengaluru. Next, we are going to study about information technology industry and electronic industry. Information technology industry or IT industry related to hardware and software goods, and electronic industry related to electronic goods. These two industries experience fast growth in India. So, the IT industry and the electronic industry, these two industries experience fast growth in India. At first, we are going to study about electronic industry. The electronic industry covers a wide range of products from transistors set to televisions, from calculators to computers. Bengaluru has emerged as the electronic city of India because most of the industries are concentrated in this area. It can be considered as an industrial hub and is also called the Silicon Valley of India. So Bengaluru, it is considered as, or it emerged as the electronic capital of India. The other important electronic industry located in India were Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Lucknow and Coimbatore. So once again, the other areas where they are very famous for this electronic industry were Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Lucknow, Coimbatore. The next one is information technology industry or IT industry. In 2010-11, our Indian government started many new STPI centers, that is Software Technology Parks of India, around 46 locations or areas. The main aim of this software technology park is that they were designed by government and they were considered as government designated areas to promote software industries or companies. So once again, the main aim of the software technology park is that they were designed by government and they were considered as government designated areas to promote software industries or companies. Through these software technology parks, we shall have a single window service and high data communication facilities. So these software technology parks will have a single window door service and high data communication facilities. Another major impact of this information technology industry is that in employment generation area, they were very much satisfactory by providing around 30% job facilities to women. So one of the major impact of this IT industry is that in employment generation area, they were very much satisfactory by providing around 30% job facilities to women. This industry is having a fast growth with the help of BPO. What is BPO? Business Process Outscoring Sector. So what is BPO? Business Process Outscoring Sector. So what is the importance of this BPO? In business, we can't do all activities by ourselves. So we need the help of a third party in this area. For example, if we are running a huge factory and the accounting section of our industry or factory has to be done in a proper way. So we submit this duty to a third person to help us in this area. That will be a IT sector and this process is known as a BPO. The continuous growth in hardware and software also resulted in the tremendous growth of information technology industry. Some of the major software technology parks in India were one in Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir, Noida in Uttar Pradesh, Mumbai, Pune in Maharashtra, Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, Hyderabad in Andhra Pradesh, Bhubaneswar in Odisha, Guwahati, Assam, Mohali in Punjab, Jaipur in Rajasthan, Indore in Madhya Pradesh, Chennai in Tamil Nadu, Visakhapatnam, Kolkata in West Bengal, Bengaluru and Mysore in Karnataka. So, some of the major software technology parks in India were Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir, Noida in Uttar Pradesh, Mumbai, Pune in Maharashtra, Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, Bhubaneswar in Odisha, Guwahati in Assam, Mohali, Punjab, Jaipur in Rajasthan, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, Visakhapatnam, Kolkata in West Bengal and Bengaluru and Mysore in Karnataka. Next topic we are going to study is industrial pollution and environmental degradation. Industries contribute a lot in development, but at the same time it has caused many pollutions and environmental degradation problems. Industries are responsible for four main types of pollutions. They are air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution and land pollution. And now we are going to study in detail about each one of these pollutions created by industries in our environment. So first of all, we are going to study about the first pollution, that is air pollution. Air is a natural substance and it is free of cost also. But we, the human beings, is not using it in the proper way, and as a result it leads to air pollution in our environment. Air pollution is also caused by the presence of undesirable gases in our environment, because oxygen is a desirable gas and we can breathe it. But the presence of undesirable gases like sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide in huge quantities in our environment not only create negative impact on human beings but on all living beings in the earth. So, the presence of undesirable gases like sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide created negative impact on human beings, not only on human beings but on all living beings in the earth. Airborne particulate materials is there in our environment which we can't see with our naked eyes, can be in the form of solid and liquid, and these materials were emitted by chemical factories, paper pulp industry, brick mills, refineries, smelting plants, burning of fossil fuels, ignoring the pollution norms in our country. Toxic gases leaks from various industries also leads to the death of living creatures in our environment. For example, the Bhopal gas tragedy. So, the presence of airborne particular materials in our environment that we can't see with our naked eye were in the form of solids and liquids, and these were emitted by the chemical factories, the paper pulp industry, brick mills, refineries, smelting plants, burning of fossil fuels, and they are doing it by ignoring the pollution norms in our country. And at the same time, the toxic gases leaks from various industries also lead to the death of living creatures in our environment. The second most important pollution in our country as a result of industries is the water pollution. Water pollution is mainly caused by in our country as a result of organic and inorganic industrial waste emitted into rivers in huge quantities. The main culprits of this water pollution are paper pulp industry, chemical industry, textile and dyeing industry, petroleum refineries. Then tanneries. What is tannery? Leather tanning industry and electroplating industries. What is electroplating industries? Metals cover with other metals with the help of electricity. That type of industry is known as electroplating industries. All these industries, they discharge dyes, detergents, acids, salts and heavy metals like lead and mercury. Then pesticides, fertilizers, synthetic chemicals with carbon, plastic and rubber into water bodies. So these industries were considered as the main culprits of water pollution. Apart from these, fly ash, that means the coal used in the thermal power plant. After burning it, we got this fly ash. This fly ash, iron steel slag, phosphogypsum are the major solid waste dumped into water bodies in India. So which are the major solid waste dumped into water bodies in India? Fly ash, iron steel slag, phosphogypsum. The next topic we are going to study in pollution is thermal pollution. Then what is thermal pollution? Thermal pollution of water occurs when hot water from factories and thermal plants is drained into rivers and ponds before cooling. Mainly in thermal power plants, we burn fossil fuels to acquire energy. So what is thermal pollution? The pollution occurs when hot water from factories and thermal plants is drained into rivers and ponds before cooling. The main impact of this thermal pollution is that water dump it highly toxic and it leads to cancer, birth defects and miscarriages, and it also harms our aquatic life. So the main impact of this thermal pollution is that Water dump, that means hot water dump, is highly toxic and it leads to cancer, birth defects, and miscarriages. And it also harms our aquatic life. In this topic, along with thermal pollution, we are studying another topic, that is a relation between soil and water pollution. When waste dumped from various industrial sectors, it leads to percolating of rainwater with these harmful chemicals and waste. As a result, our underground water also get contaminated. So as a result of this thermal pollution, or along with this thermal pollution, we are also studying the relation between the soil and water as a part of pollution. So when the waste are dumped from various industrial sectors into our soil, it leads to percolating of rainwater and with these harmful chemicals directly into the underground water. As a result, our underground water also get contaminated. The last pollution that we want to study in this area is noise pollution. Noise pollution is not visible like other pollutions, but noise pollution causes undesirable sounds from industrial and construction activities by using of various machines, sawmills, generators, pneumatic and electrical drills. So what is a pneumatic machine? A machine that is operated with air pressure is known as a pneumatic machine. As a result of all these, it leads to noise pollution. The impact of noise pollution is that it results in irritation and anger. And it can also cause hearing impairment, increasing of heart rates and blood pressures. Unwanted sound is a source of stress and reason for lack of concentration. So we want to avoid it at any cost. So the main impact of noise pollution is that what it results in irritation and anger. And it also causes hearing impairment, increasing of heart rates and blood pressures. And first, one more thing we want to understand is that unwanted sound is a source of stress and reason for lack of concentration. So at any cost, we want to avoid it. So these are the 4 main pollutions that we want to study related to this chapter. So next topic we want to study is control of environmental degradation. So we already studied that there were various problems and various causes that led to the degradation of our environment. So we want to adopt various measures, isn't it? From various studies, it is noted that every 1 liter of wastewater will contaminate 8 times the quality of fresh water. So we want to adopt various ways and suggestions to control environmental degradation. So once again, it is noted that every 1 liter of wastewater will contaminate 8 times the quality of fresh water. So to avoid all these problems, we want to adopt various ways to control environmental degradation. So next we are going to study some suggestions to control environmental degradation. Here we are going to study various suggestions and ways adopted by the government to control our environment. The first suggestion measure is minimizing use of water for processing by reusing and recycling it in 2 or more successive stages. This means that in order to safeguard our water resource, we want to minimize its use. So the first one, minimizing use of water by recycling and reusing it in 2 or more successive stages. The second measure is adopting of rainwater harvesting system to meet our requirements. That means by adopting this rainwater harvesting system in whatever areas we are facing the problem of water scarcity, we can meet our water requirements with the help of this system. So it is very important in areas facing the problem of water scarcity. The third suggestion or way to control environmental degradation is treating hot water and effluents before releasing them into water bodies. It means that we want to cool the hot water and other waste before dumping it directly into our water bodies. Otherwise, it will destroy the aquatic life of our water body. So, we want to cool it and dump into our water bodies. The next is industrial effluents can be treated in three ways. That means we can treat the industrial waste in three ways to avoid our environmental degradation. The first one is primary treatment by mechanical means. That means that by mechanical process or with the help of machines, try to control industrial waste by screening, grinding, percolating and sedimentation of the waste. That is the first one. Second one is secondary treatment with the help of biological process. So, with the help of different biological process, we are trying to control industrial waste. And the third one is tertiary treatment with the help of biological, chemical and physical process. That means with the help of some physical, that means human help, mechanical, machines and biological process, we are trying to control industrial waste, and it also involves recycling of waste water. So the primary treatment, it includes mechanical process, that means with the help of machines to control industrial waste. Secondary treatment help biological process to control industrial waste, and the tertiary treatment, it includes physical, mechanical and biological process to control industrial waste. Next is using of groundwater by industries should be regulated legally. That means overdrawing of groundwater by industries. We want to control the overuse of groundwater to avoid water scarcity. The next way to control environmental degradation is to control particulate matters in the air. We want to fit the smokestacks, electrostatic precipitators, fabric filters, scrubbers and inertial separators. By using all these methods, we can avoid the particulate matters in the air produced by the industries. So once again, particulate matters in the air can be reduced with the help of fitting smokestacks, electrostatic precipitators, fabric filters, scrubbers and inertial separators. Next is using of oil or gas instead of coal in factories. Because in factories or industries, we are using different types of coals like cooking coal for various purposes. So it created a lot of air pollutions and various other types of pollutions. So in order to avoid it, we want to use oil or gas instead of coal in factories. Next is generators should be fitted with silencers. That means machinery and equipment can be used, and at the same time we want to redesign it to increase energy efficiency and reduce noise pollution. So once again, generators should be fitted with silencers. All machines and equipments be using in factories should be fitted with silencers, and they also want to be redesigned to increase energy efficiency and reduce noise pollution. The last suggestions or ways to control environmental degradation is noise absorbing materials should be used. That means noise absorbing material may be used apart from personal use of earplugs and earphones. So once again, noise absorbing materials should be used apart from personal use of earplugs and earphones. So these are the various ways to control environmental degradation. Sustainable development requires integration of economic development with environmental concerns. So once again, sustainable development, we want to give a lot of importance to the idea of sustainable development. That means safeguarding our resources, not only for us, for also our future generation. Requires integration of economic development with environmental concerns. Next topic we want to study is NTPC. What is NTPC? National Thermal Power Corporation is known as NTPC. This NTPC is a major power providing corporation in India, and it has ISO certification in EMS, Environment Management System. So the NTPC, otherwise known as National Thermal Power Corporation, is a major power providing corporation in India, and it has ISO certification in EMS, Environmental Management System. NTPC has taken proactive approach for preserving the natural environment and resource in places where it is setting up power plants. So NTPC is a major power providing corporation in India. It has ISO certification for EMS, Environment Management System, and the proactive approach of this NTPC is preserving the natural environment and resource in places where it is setting up power plants. So next we are going to study the various steps adopted by NTPC in safeguarding our environment. The first step taken by NTPC in safeguarding our environment is optimum utilization of equipments by adopting latest techniques and upgrading existing equipments. That means we want to adopt the latest techniques, whether it is in machines or any other field, and we want to upgrade the existing ones to safeguard our energy resource also. The next step is minimizing waste generation by maximizing ash utilization. So once again, which is a second step taken by NTPC, minimizing waste generation by maximizing ash utilization. That means the ash that we are obtaining from the industries can be used in any other industries for various purposes. So the next step adopted by NTPC is providing green belts for Nuturing Ecological Balance and addressing the question of special purpose vehicles for afforestation. That means we want to provide green belts against deforestation, and we want to adopt the policy of afforestation to safeguard our environment and also to overthrow the harsh gases and other harmful particles that is there in our air. The next step adopted by NTPC is reducing environmental pollution through ash pond management, ash water recycling system, and liquid waste management. So once again, reducing environmental pollution through ash pond management. That means we want to safeguard the fly ashes. That means if the fly ashes is there in the atmosphere, it will create air pollution. So maximum we want to avoid it. At the same time, ash water recycling system. So wherever there is industries and nearby any water bodies is there, like rivers or ponds, this ash will create some pollution problems to that area, that we want to recycle that water bodies and we want to make it in the proper way. And liquid waste management, and we want to maximum liquefy our waste to safeguard our environment. These are the steps taken by the NTPC to safeguard our environment. The next step is ecological monitoring, reviews and online database management for all its power stations. That means we should have an ecological monitoring every time. That means these industries or power stations, whether it is creating any problems to our environment. Then reviews and online database managements were also taken from these power stations to overcome the pollution problems created by them. So these are the various steps adopted by NTPC to control environmental degradation. So my dear children, we should have a recall about what we studied in this chapter. First, we studied about the chemical industry, the various characteristic features of chemical industry. There are two divisions as organic and inorganic chemical industries. Then we studied about the fertilizer industry and how the fertilizer industry help to have a boost to our agriculture sector. Then the cement industry, the various characteristic features and importance of cement industry. Then automobile industry, the fast growing industry in India. Then information technology industry and the electronic industry. And we studied about the software technology parks, everything. Then we studied industrial pollutions, which were the different types of pollutions created by industries like air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, thermal pollution. Then after that, we studied the various steps to control environmental degradation. Then at last, we studied the National Thermal Power Corporation, that is NTPC, and the various steps adopted by NTPC to overcome our environmental degradations and to safeguard our environment. Dear children, please watch the video very carefully, copy down all the important points and read your textbook 3 or 4 times. Thank you.